So Sonia, tell me about Mayan food and some of the unique things about it.
Yeah, it's a favorite question of people that I get all the time. And one of the main things, they have 3 types of what they call ricados, and they're seasoning pastes.
Okay.
And the one that's most popular and that you can get here in the United States is achiote. Now this achiote is combined with other seasonings, and you can buy it already in a paste, and then you can add some lime juice. Would you do that for me?
Sure, I'm good at lime.
Okay, so we're going to keep adding the lime and stirring it around so that eventually we're going to have a marinade. And this is the achiote is the spice that comes. It's not a chili. It comes from the lipstick tree plant. It's called
lipstick tree plant.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. It's almost like a shrub, but it's a little tree, and it has a round. What do you call that? Like a thistle kind of thing on the end.
All right.
And you open it up, and inside are all these little tiny seeds that have this brick red covering to them. And then you can either put those seeds with the covering in some oil and make some colored oil and flavoring. You can put it in water, or you can grind them up with these other ingredients and make this paste. So people have this paste on hand, and it'll hold in the fridge for a long time, and then when they're ready to make the menu for the day, they'll say, well, do I want the white, black, or the red?
So is it spicy like a chili?
No, it's not spicy like a chili at all, but it is very flavorful. So it's a spice taste, but not with heat.
Okay.
So it doesn't have any heat to it at all. So it really surprises people. I would make it even much more liquid.
More liquid. Okay,
yes.
Here we go.
So while you're doing that, I want to talk a little about Mayan food and the tortilla. I'm embarrassed to say, when I went to Mexico from California, I didn't even know how to eat a tortilla. Here, everybody would take a tortilla and fry it and turn it like that and then stuff it. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. Well, down there in Yucatan, it's the soft taco capital of the world. So they rarely will fry their tortillas. They will use the soft taco. So you will heat your taco, and nowadays you can even heat them in the microwave. We do it over a stove, and then sometimes you get a little bit of that carbon on there.
Yeah.
And really tasty. So this tortilla is very famous because you can use it as a plate. You know, if you're at a party and you're going to take some finger food, you can keep it as a plate.
That's a great idea.
You can fold it, tear it into quarters, and then you have a little shovel. So then you can shovel your spoon. So you've got a spoon now.
No
right?
spoon needed.
That's right. And then the other thing they do is take this. Now, I'm really still not so good at it, but take a tortilla and roll it up. Well, roll it up like that, and then you've got a pusher. So the tortilla is very versatile.
Yes.
And the soft taco is with corn tortilla. In this case, I'm using, this is a sort of a white corn tortilla, and it's store-bought. But in my book, I have a chapter on Zen and the art of tortilla making. And I'm not going to go into it today because, quite frankly, most people in this world will buy them.
Yes.
And we can get them fresh from tortillerias. And, of course, the very best if you do make them by hand. Then there are lots of tortilla dishes with the corn tortillas where you do fry them. You can stuff them with beans and then fry them and pile things on top. But I just encourage everybody in their cooking experience to try to be comfortable and put things together that they like. So I go into the refrigerator and I say, oh, what's there? Oh, I like that, that, and that. And I'm talking leftovers now. And mix those up, heat up your tortillas, and have a great stuffing.
Well, when you have ingredients like these, it's easy to do.
Right. So
how's my texture here?
I think it's looking really good.
Consistency's okay?
Yes,
now, what do we want to do with this?
Well, if we had a fish here, I would, for instance, butterfly it out and then score it and then cover it with this achiote paste from the lipstick tree, with the lime juice and other spices, and then grill the fish, and that would be the painted fish. So let me tell you about that story. A little bit about my story. When I got to Punta Allen, there in the end of the road in a world, it wasn't a World Biosphere Reserve at the time, but it is now. And the first night I got there, a friend had taken me down there because I was looking for a place where no one spoke English. I wanted to do real total immersion. But I didn't know how immersed I was going to get because I ended up having to go into the Caribbean Sea and actually go skin diving for lobsters. So I did lots of immersion there. The first night I got there, of course, people started coming over. All the neighbors were coming, and the music, the boombox came, and the music was playing, and the leaves were rustling from the palm trees,
What a
and
welcome.
the turquoise sea was out there, and I was just astounded, and I was doing a lot of smiling and nodding because that's what you do when you don't speak Spanish. That's why I was there, to learn the Spanish. So I had the Berlitz tapes on Spanish. I don't know if you've ever heard them,
Yes,
but there's a character named Senor Gonzalez is one of the characters that you learn to speak with. And I used to lay in the hammock and have my little tape recorder, and Armando would come in and say, "How is Mr. Senor Gonzalez?" You know. So when I got there, this was my introduction to Mayan cooking. I saw the guy come with these 2 big fish. He could hardly carry them, you know, and I saw it open up, and I'm nodding and smiling, and then I turned around, and all of a sudden it was red. And that's where I got the name The Painted Fish for the cookbook, because they used the achiote.
As a paint.
Yes, and they say the Mayan chieftains even used it to, you know, decorate themselves.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
that's fascinating.
So you can try
this
it.
is ancient.
You can try it at Halloween if you'd like.
This is really an ancient
Yes,
process. Then.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful.
So it gives you a little idea of how I got there and what constitutes some of the Mayan food.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for helping me, Suzanne.